Alright, let's turn the music down a little bit. And... boom! Hey, hi, Lancers! So, today is going to be a little bit of a short one. For those of you who don't know, my housemate Layla, she has a big esports casting stream that's coming up a little bit later. So don't wanna spill over in that. So we're just gonna be doing some just a nice chill little art stream and going to be designing some of the mechas from my dreams, or rather my dream mecha. Let's go turn all of that down. And let's get our usual beats here. Gonna have to actually pull it up here. I honestly should have done this ahead of time. Haha, whoops. So yeah, we're gonna be designing a mecha. Um so hey, welcome in Zach, welcome in Unicorn, welcome in Combar. Good to see you guys. Here we go. Let's see if I can pull up one of it's always a safe bet to go with Panda Beats. Shout out to Panda Beats, because wow, good music library selection there. Okay, so let's go ahead and which one should I do here? Let's do synth. There we go. Bring this up a little bit more, just so we can get that in the background there. Heck yeah! All right, so I did a little prep work before starting stream here. So if I just hop over to say here and boop in my usual spot. Oh, I've been really enjoying this stream deck. Honestly, I do need to do more setup on it, but I just love being able to do this, and yeah, gotta love mechs. So, for those of you who didn't tune in last time, this was a commission I did for Unicorn, and this is the final result here. And I'm very pleased with how it turned out. Ogre Rain. Yeah, so today we're going to be doing another mecha design. And not a commission, just for me. This is going to be my mecha, and while it's very tempting to have a nice, cool, sleek, and sexy mech, personally, I find a very underrated silhouette would be something like this. See, I love the Round Nova. Like, it is one of my favorite mech designs. Practical, stout, and just to use some other inspirations here, we of course have the Slug Gunner from Metal Slug, and of course another variant that someone drew here. And then we of course have some inspiration from Heavy Gear Blitz, which is a pretty good and fairly crunchy tabletop war game. It's like the other mecha war game besides BattleTech. I actually have a bunch of these model kits. I kind of use them for Everest frames in Lancer, and if you're playing a physical game of um of Lancer and you need miniatures, personally, or if you just really want plastic miniatures, I personally recommend Heavy Gear Blitz. It's pretty good value for money in terms of like how many mechs you get, because I think in a box you get about, I think it's like 20 to 25 mechs per box. Yeah, like Heavy Gear has some really good lore, but because it's been around for like so long, it's a lot. And like I love their model range. They're like miniature gunplas. Except they're not push fit. You kind of have to like still glue them together, but they have a bunch of details for like options and such. Like look at that. Look at that. Like if that doesn't scream like I love the new Cole aesthetic specifically, because it's kind of a pseudo Xeon kind of design with like the Zaku's, but they're also like nice, rounded, kind of industrial, and I kind of like this front panel bit on them. Like I love that. And of course we have some other designs here from Heavy Gear as well that we'll be using as inspiration. And of course, the head that we already have designed. So, what I'm thinking, right, is I am thinking of potentially doing something like, if I just do this in red here. So I want to have like oh wait, it'd probably help if I move the refs towards the very back. There we go. References towards the back. So what I'm planning on doing is maybe kind of doing this upper body here, because I really like the sort of roundness to it, big, kind of friendly, pretty bulky. And it kind of has like this nice kind of like retro aesthetic to it that I adore. I will probably keep like a sort of squared look here. In fact, or rather than squared, I'll probably do kind of a more cylindrical kind of cod piece here, which will then lead into the legs. Why is my internet deciding to give me 30 seconds of stream delay constantly or higher? Ooh, that's rough. Have you sacrificed a goat lately? Because, sometimes you have to sacrifice things to the internet gods. Yeah, so I'm thinking probably something like that. I may do a front panel that's sort of implied to sort of like come down like so. Maybe have like a slit like that. Just in case the sensitive camera equipment goes down, you gotta have redundancies. Yes, some tambourine shamanism can help too. Yeah, and you got to make sure you burn the right herbs. You would think it would be sage, but apparently for the internet, I think you have to like, I don't know, is gamer subs flammable? I'm pretty sure you don't set gamer subs on fire. Don't. That's a joke. But yeah, I like the torso bit as much as I would love to have sort of like a big round head. Well, actually, I could probably get away with a dome here if I have the head mounted right on top of that, because the gun tank does it here, the slug gunner, where you see the top portion here with the slit, and then they have like the mecha head right on top. But I think personally that's a little bit too raised. So I may just keep it simple and actually have this part be kind of like an upward sort of divot. So then there's just like a flat plane where the shoulders are. Or, you know, shoulders, air quotes. Gonna build it with the kits. What I'll probably do, I'm probably gonna 3D model it once I have the design set down, and just print it. Because the idea is, if I can get this mech designed and getting it looking good, because like that's the thing, I want to design a mech that I would be proud to display with the rest of my mech collection. And who knows, I could probably release those files for free so anyone can print them. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm kind of thinking for the torso here. I still haven't decided armaments. Could use PLA plate and 2-part model putty to create the shapes you want. True. I'll have to experiment with that. So one thing I kind of want from this design, like I said, I want the front panel that sort of curves like so and curves down. Because I do like that. I do like that design. And then again, just sort of like have a similar slit, like say the not that version of the design, this version of the design, where they kind of have like a little viewport. Sorry, I just had to. I just had to. There we go. Let's see, could use PLA plate. Okay, and have the 30mm kits as the frame. True, very true. Because I do want to pick up this kit. So if I do pick up this kit, I'm probably going to heavily modify this kit. It's one of the reasons why I really love the 30-minute missions line. So I got these down here for inspiration for the legs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the lower leg and like the little knee protector thing as like one solid piece. And then I just need to figure out how I'm going to slot it in with the foot, because mecha, like figuring out how mecha feet work is pretty tricky. Because I know with this one here, they have like the knees sort of like separate, and then you have this section right here that kind of slots in like so. And I think the implication is it kind of comes down like so. So I think it's supposed to be like this underneath, though probably not to that degree because this is fabric. So probably brought in like so, and then that comes down like so, and it goes into a ball joint. Yo! Watch streak! Congrats! All right. All right. So, I haven't decided armaments, but I think I may go with I think I may go with like a pretty bulky mech sniper. Uh Reason being is when I played Mecha Break, I used the Aquila, which is the heavy sniper, and I adored that. It was one of my favorite mechs. I have no idea if I got nerfed to hell and back. I haven't really picked up Mecha Break since the initial launch because I can't really do PvP games long term. You know, you feel that wave, and you just kind of you lose momentum. It happens. So, anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of a technique here that I saw on YouTube a few days ago, where you kind of work with a silhouette. So, let's see, 1-0 Moonwort style rifle barrel. Ooh, hold on. Let me see what that looks like. Let me pull that up. Ooh, that is a really sleek barrel. Hold on. Hold on. That is sleek as hell, but I feel like it's gonna be too sleek because I'm going for a round kind of bulky aesthetic. But I could use this as a jumping off point because what I want to do is I want to have like the whole oh, not that one. Let's do yeah, because what I want to do is more like an anti-material rifle barrel just because of the visual language, and it would work with the aesthetic. But what I will do is with the barrel going in this way, I can play around with heavy shapes, tech scopes. Kind of show it like that. Epicito, let's have a look. Yeah, for the head. Yeah, that would work as a pretty good base. Yeah. Now I will probably 3D model it so it can be printed, but let's pull that up for let's pull that up on the stream. The image, and let's see if it'll let me paste it. There it is. There it is. Yeah. That's a good base. So here's what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna work on the silhouette because every good mech needs a good silhouette. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start first with the body, and we're just going to sort of add. Hold on, let me pull up the brush size here. So we're just going to do big shapes here. something like that. We'll have just a little bit of a divot here where the front panel is going to be, and then we'll have the head be right on top, like so. And then we'll do the cylindrical kind of cod piece near the front. And maybe have this bulk out a little bit that way. And then let's see what to do for the arms. So for the arms, I'm thinking having it be thin near the top and then have it come out in a big bulky shape like so. And then let's just kind of block in where the elbows come, because I'm thinking like the knees, the elbows are going to be like a part of the main. Oh no! Stream crashed. Stream crashed for techno. Oh no. That being said, I think let's do something like this. Because I want it to have like sort of a gradual curve and outwards, and then comes down, and then curves inwards. And we'll give it that sort of like lanky look to it. Wait, there's ones that turn into miniguns? That's sick! That's so sick! And, oh, already that's looking a little bit too... Because I want this to be a more squat mech. Because again, I'm using the Round Nova as inspiration here. Oh, I'm going to be having a lot of fun kit bashing things. I love 30-minute missions. They're just such a great kit bash line, because then you don't have to really worry about accidentally using anything super iconic. Because that's just the one thing about kit bashing Gunplas together. They're all such like iconic designs that it's pretty difficult not to see the iconic bits. All right, that's good to know. That's good to know. So that's a variant for this one here. Got it. The weapons got unit has that sniper barrel. Ooh. All right, so what I'll probably do is I want to play around with something like this. Kind of comes out cylindrically, and then yeah, so something like that. Now let's see what we can do to push the silhouette even further. For example, let's do something like this, where we'll bulk out this a little bit more. And then gotta figure out how I'm going to do the legs. The legs are always the most difficult part. Let's see. Now, let's do a little bit of subtractive stuff here. So, now that we have the silhouette, we can kind of go in and sort of figure out details. So, kind of like that. We'll add headlights. And probably do sort of like a little front panel here. Has that. Hey, welcome in, Chinchilla. We're going to solidify my mech design today, and we're using the silhouette method. Or actually, how did I have you guys set up? I had it inverse. There we go. That's okay. And what else did I have set up here? Oh yeah, so I had the ears kind of have this sort of that design. So okay, and then let's see. They also sell vent spinner parts, pegs into the. Ooh, oh yeah. No, the vents are going to be super useful. Let's see. Check out extended armament, smart transformable machines for the arm suggestion. Ooh, yeah. Let's have a look here. So let's see. 30 mm, and then. Extended armaments. Smart transformable machine. There we go. Come on. What is up with Google lately? It's like taking entire. Alright, fine. I'll just paste that. Copy that. Paste that. There we go. Oh. Hello. I see it. Oh, no. I didn't want to open up a YouTube video. All right. Pop image, and then let's paste that in here. There we go. Let's move that over the rest of our refs. And that looks sick. That looks so sick. Okay. Let's see. And there we go. What hasn't Google done to fuck itself over? I mean, yeah, honestly. Especially with like the whole AI thing. I've literally I've been considering actually changing the search engines that I use instead of using like just Google directly. There's this one there was this one third party search engine called Dogpile, and last I checked, um, it did not have AI, and its entire business model is, well, I say business model, its entire setup is it scrapes every other um like search engine for their results and they compile them all together. It's been around since, oh god, since I was a baby. So for this bit right here, and then that will come down. So, and then let's actually erase some right there. Yeah, like that. Then for this, differentiate it. There we go. Okay, so for the legs, let's do... because I want to keep it simple, like very simple. I want the arms, I want the lower arms and the lower legs to be basically cylinders with some visual flair. Let's see, I can keep throwing suggestions up if you want. I have a head in particular with a mono eye. If your design, ooh, yes, by all means, keep sending them over. A lot of people have been swapping over to Linux instead of Windows. Yeah, true. The only reason why I haven't decided to like say fuck it and switch over to Windows, or not Windows, Linux, is because a lot of online games will auto ban you because Linux pulls up some weird, funny false flags. That's pretty much the only reason why I haven't gone over yet, because I do still like to play the occasional online game. Maybe something like that. You know what? I will keep it simple. I will do... I'll do bands like that. And then I will actually have it come into the arm like so. And this is why we do the silhouette technique. I honestly, I was skeptical with this technique at first. But no, I see the vision. I see benefits in a pointed stick. There we go. Let's see, a lot of people have been swapping. Yeah, I know Steam has been helping them catch up to Windows and run better games better. Yeah, because the Steam machine was going to Linux. Yeah, personally, I'm going to wait until Linux is given a more like, because it's not quite there yet. It's pretty damn close. Not gonna lie, it is pretty damn close. But once it gets past that first initial hurdle and anti-cheats start like actually accounting for Linux systems, then I'll make the switch. Because I love open source anything. Like, I love the Godot engine for that very reason. It's like it's about as powerful as any other engine. It's just open source, which is good. Love open source. Open source is great. Okay, so we're going to this sort of split that silhouette just a little bit there. And you know what? We'll show that plane right there, and then let's go ahead and differentiate this plane here. And then while we're at it, yeah, something like that. Because I'm thinking for the design, it kind of comes out. So the chest will kind of come out like, so like here's the top plane. Yeah, here's the top plane, and then this bit kind of sits right on top, like so. Yes, that kind of sits right on top. And then kind of comes down like so. So there's like the little paneling there. The analog slit for in case any visual instruments get knocked out, and then you'll come out like kind of like so, curving this way. In fact, I can probably afford to have this sort of curve out a bit, and then have this bottom one sort of curve in, come down. Yes, kind of something like that, roughly, just without using any guidelines. Let's see. Which shouldn't be too far now, because no one likes Windows 11. True, I don't like Windows 11. Windows 11 is terrible. This Copilot shit, it's awful. I hate it. What I'll probably do is actually, hold on, I'll probably, oh, it would probably help if I was on the right layer here. So what I'll probably do is something like, probably not that. I will bulk out the loops just a little bit. Oop, whoops. Something like that. Okay, and then I will go in and just quickly do a little bit of that, and then we will have that be the little hinge mark right there. Yes! Yes! Okay, and then let's do one of those, because I knee vents. Do they have any real practical use? I don't know. Look cool though. Yeah, so if I were to turn that down, and then this here, we're gonna go in with our pencil, and we're just gonna still with the symmetrical tool. Love the symmetrical tool. Gotta love the symmetrical tool. So, so now that we have the basic silhouette all set up, what we can do now is figure out where everything else is going to go. I'll probably have this sort of be like a little cylindrical outcropping. And then the head would sit right on top like that. Okay. So I think I did... Oh, actually, no, I did the inverse of that. So it went like that, came up, and then went out like so. Had it like this. Just gonna quickly shape that in. Help separate it out from the rest. And we'll go in and kind of fix the eyes. There we go. And let's get the shape of the head in. There we go. Let's see. Got 3 more part suggestions. Extended armament spacecraft. And the Seal Nova. Ooh. 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 Seal Nova. Seal Nova. Seal Nova. That's the one I think it is. Oh, yeah. This is another design I love. Because I might use the... Well, probably not the arms from the Seal Nova, but the legs are really cool. Okay, so let me copy that image and post that in refs. Here we are. I love this thing's silhouette. Like it's a solid second to the round Nova in my opinion. Yeah, I just love that design. Like honestly, if the arms had a similar design to the legs, it would have been so good. But I do like the fact that it's a more bottom heavy mech. So yeah, in fact, it would help if I was on the right layer again. There we go. So I'm gonna pop this out just a little. So anything, so this will have like a little plane change right here. Kind of like so. And then there'll be another plane change right here. That being said, you know what? I'll come back to the legs. I'm still not 100% sold on the leg design quite yet. Let's focus on the torso. Let's get that done. Let's work from top down. Go. All right, and then this will that being said, I think maybe it would be best if we extended this plate down just a little bit further. And then let's get rid of this right here. Get rid of that. Yeah, so we'll extend this out just a little bit further. Sort of give it a rounded bump there. And then when we bring in this silhouette, or not the silhouette, this little plane change right here, which will kind of curve into that. There we go. And then we can add the actual like headlights bit right here. And then let's add a protective panel down here that will also mark the slope downwards. And have this little section here actually kind of be sticking out a little bit on the straight side. So what we'll do is something like this. Something like that. Goodness, already this method's working out. Alright, and then what I will probably do, instead of this having be like one big solid part, I'll probably imply that it's segmented to give it that little extra layer of flexibility. And then we're coming down to the cod piece here. I'm going to turn just a hair. Yeah, so here we go. Here's the cylindrical cod piece right here. So we'll come in like so. And again, this will have like the slope plane right here. And then we will bring this down just to sort of break up the shape just a little bit. Then from here, show that plane right there. There we go. We'll keep the actual like hip section simple. Now for the shoulder bits, I am going to take a page directly from the New Coal Army, how they have their shoulders set up. Again, it just sort of breaks up the silhouette a bit, because if you look at how they have the shoulders set up on here, they kind of have like this sort of, it's rounded, but there's like a cutout, if that makes sense. So, like that. ooh. Revernova. Okay, let's have a look here. Oh, let's see. UEF ACU from Supreme Commander 2. Alright, let's have a look at that one as well. Alright. Okay, so we'll copy that image, and then we'll come down to our refs. We'll just... Come on. Paste it in refs. There we go. Move that down here. This is turning into a big hodgepodge of all these different designs. And go into the first fold. Okay, and then let's have a look at the Revernova. This one, I think it is. Yes, this is another one of my favorites. Honestly, the entire Nova line, from 30-minute Mission, it's just golden. So let's copy that image here. There we go. Quite a bit. And I noticed the Revernova has kind of Zaku 2 legs. Like early Zaku 2 legs. Okay, so... Let's see, the unit headset lets you build a custom head, but it appears to be a visor from first glance. Honestly, like, the Zeon and Zaku lines, they're so iconic. Like, in my opinion, I find them to be a little bit more iconic than the Gundam designs. Like, yeah, the Gundam designs are easily recognizable, but the Zaku's are a very, very strong design visually. It's like, yeah, you can look at a Gundam and go, yeah, that's a Gundam. But that, in my opinion, that kind of works against it, because it's like the poster child, essentially. And sometimes people don't want the poster child. Has Dom/Rick Dom legs. The Zaku is iconic because it wasn't designed to be made into a toy. And yet, here we are. Zaku is such a good design. Like, personally, the Zaku's actually fit the Gundam setting more than the actual Gundams. Controversial opinion, I know. Do something. Let's make it sort of like a tiered cylinder. something like that? Hmm. I may be overcomplicating this. How about instead? How about instead? We do the classic round bulked out knee. And then and we'll do it like so, but the idea that yeah, let's have a look at how the metal slug leg is set up. So yeah, let's break up the silhouette kind of like that. So what we'll do is we'll have a top plane like so. A couple of big bolts. There we go. There we go. And then we will have it sort of fashion like so. And actually, if I do something a bit more like this. And we'll just carve out that plane right there. The implication is it's supposed to be like sort of a ball joint kind of socket here. And actually, instead of it having go in directly like so, let's round this out just a little bit more, and then we'll have it. You know what I might do? I might do like a little. Because I don't like how thin that looks. So, idea. Let's carve out this entire section right here. Just carve it all out. And then let's sort of define this plane a bit. And then we'll do a kind of do a pat labor kind of attachment here. Yeah, something like that. And then let's get that plane defined. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I like that. So then... let's see what we can do for... So let's swoop that out. Yeah. All right. All right. I'm fucking with this. I'm fucking with this. that being said, I kind of like how this leg is set up right here. So actually, because I like defining where the calf is. Again, I might be overcomplicating it. I might be adding too many greebly bits. It's real easy to overdo greebles in Mecha. Probably have this kind of soft bit, sort of. So would be sitting on ball joint. So, and then, oh, oh. Hold on, hold on, folks. I will be right back. Might be having food here just a bit. All right. Ooh, that foot right there actually looks pretty good. So, hold on. No. A sprite, no. Okay, and if I do it like so, I can still have the ankle. Still have the ankle kind of be adjustable here. Yeah, like so. Okay, so this is what I so far. I might adjust this area right here. Now that I have the lower leg all input, let's figure out how we can best attach this. And let's turn the silhouette down a little bit. Doesn't interfere. I'm looking at it in isolation. Let's get rid of that. I wanted this to be simple, I said. So you know what? Let's bring back some simplicity. Yeah. Something like that. Like will be just kind of curved a bit, and then we will add big old rivets right there, and then let's add a nice little, let's add some panel lines. There we go. And then we can get the best of both worlds here. I add that joint. Yeah. All right. I think that's the legs mostly figured out. I will add one more set of panel lines right about here-ish, I think. All right. I am loving what we have so far. So let's see if we can extend out. All right, so we have the lower legs. We have the lower legs, so we're not going to worry about this anymore. We kept it simple. We kept the shapes big, easy to read. So now for the upper arm, we're going to keep this. We're going to keep this a lot simpler here. So just shade that in, and then there we go. Then let's define some plane changes here. Let's get a nice bevel on this side. Yeah, that's a nice looking bevel. And then we shall have the cylinder kind of flare out like so. Kind of like has that propane tank kind of curve to it. Got some clean burn and protection, I tell you what. There we go. And then we can add a little greebly bit here. Sort of imply armor, and then let's add panel down there. Yeah, and then let's add a couple of rivets. Some big, obvious rivets. let's actually have similar panel on this other side. There we go. Am I overcomplicating the design? Yes. But if we get this first initial design, and then we streamline it a little bit further, we'll have a design that will start looking a little bit more iconic. After all, this is just the first draft. So then... Oh, thank you very much. Ooh, I'll have roast chicken and potatoes. Oh, oh. And I spice this thing too, so I am definitely looking forward to this. All right. Wait for that to cool down just. Ooh. So what I'm thinking about doing for this is, instead of it having 5 fingers, I might go the 3-finger approach. And let's do a better job of that. Man. Let's and let's set some of these armor panel X's. I have no idea what they are, but they look nice and industrial. And what I'll probably do something like that. So the idea is this section right here will be green, and this section will be white. Go. All right. I think we almost have this full design done. I'm gonna add a pack onto the back here, and let's have a look at our inspirations here. I might actually redo the leg. Not by a whole lot, but I will probably redo this bit of armor panel here, so it actually comes up a bit more. There we go. That's looking pretty good. And the arms are pretty basic, but the idea of scale is, if I were to be standing next to this thing, I would be like, hold on, just for scale. So let's say just gonna quickly block in a figure here. just a little. So this would be like a proper size 1 mech. So let's hide the refs and let's hide the silhouette. Hide humans here. So what I'm planning on doing is we're going to go over with some quick inks. And what we're going to be doing with this stage is kind of solidifying where everything is, if that makes sense. And going in and doing some nicer panels. What I will probably do is instead of having it come down... Oh, no, that's still a bit too... Let's bring that to 8. Go. And then let's have this line there. Oh, whoops. There we go. That. So, round shoulder into a round shoulder. Then we are going to bring the arm down. As much as I like how I have this panel set up here, I think it would probably be best if I focus more on this side, having the panel, the outer side, rather than the inner side. Kind of like so. Or perhaps not. Yeah, this is tough. All right, let's focus on the torso. I'm getting ahead of myself. So this is going to be big plane change right here. It's always nice kind of like figuring out where the changes in angle are going to be. It just makes it a little bit easier to kind of figure out the silhouette and how the details are going to sort of slot in with each other. So like this panel right here. Go. There we go. There. All right. I like this shape. Keeping the shape. Trying to remember to keep things simple. The more details I add, the more difficult this design is going to be to reproduce. Go. hint the curvature. And then this will be another plane change here into a cylindrical outcropping. And this will also act as a means to protect the rather sensitive neck mount. There we go. And, oh, actually, let's slightly change. This is kind of a problem. There we go. Make that a little bit more obvious how tube-ish they are. And then we shall go ahead and up, over, lead into the front panel. Okay. Here we go. It's kind of in high focus mode right now because I'm trying to, as I'm going through this, I'm trying to just work things out in my head. Like, does it make sense in my head? If it doesn't, I change. There we go. And here, we'll do kind of a cat side kind of setup there. And then we can have the little midsection connect there. Yes, yes. All right. Cool. We are actually making some really good progress here. Okay. Then bring these in. So, I think the one part that we have pretty much set in stone is the torso and legs. The arms, I'll do some more design iterations. But if we get this solidified, don't have to think about it. Again, I might be overthinking this design. said, I want this to be a nice, appealing robot design that I would be happy to have on my shelf of mechas. Okay, 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 okay. My stomach's growling. So I'm just gonna quickly take a few bites. I'm gonna continue. Oh, I really needed that. Hmm. Fuel for art. Okay. So right here, I'm just gonna have these be straight line there. There we go. Hey, hey, Clockwork Rook, welcome in. We're designing my mecha. You can't be a mech pilot without a mech, you know? Go. Got that Turner bolt right there. Some thin panel lines contrast with the thick outline. And actually, what am I doing? That needs to be slightly curved because this is on a curved surface. And then let's get these big rivets on here. There we go. Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm designing a kind of boxy, kind of lanky mech. Like it's so tempting to make a sleek Gundam style mech, but I'm kind of going for more of a heavy gear slash metal slug kind of design, but I'm trying to keep the big details kind of limited. So if I ever wanted to just like sit down and draw and reproduce this, it'd be easy to reproduce. That's another thing. If a mech design is too busy and it's just like such a pain to draw, it's not going to be fun to use in projects. This is definitely going to be a size 1 mech. Because most good mechs tend to be size 1. So I probably have this ball joint be... I'll black out this this ball here. Yeah, something like that. Let's go ahead and fill the rest of this in. Zoom out and we'll see how it looks. Yeah, that's looking good. And hell yeah. Okay. This is the tricky part. Because this is a curved surface, I want there to be sort of a visible uh, plane here. It's this little bevel. I'm gonna have to go over this curve twice. Once for that side, and then I think we may have got this here. If you can avoid it, try to have any curved surfaces you draw not be done in one smooth motion, because one smooth curved motion is very difficult to reproduce reliably. Here we go. Using the design language from Metal Gear, or not Metal Gear, Metal Slug and Heavy Gear. Small, squat, stocky mechs. Something that will have like a low profile, have like sturdy, nice and sturdy. Again, we're just gonna go over and I'm going to define this plane right here, just to give it the illusion that this is a geometric mechanical shape. So kind of going for that 90s mecha aesthetic with this one. Because, like, let's be real. 80s and 90s Mecha? Peak Mecha. Oh. Yeah, something like that. You know, no. I shouldn't be suggesting the shadows yet. No. That's a step for later. And you know what, instead of this having be a plane, let's actually just make this do some ambient occlusion. Instead of having this be a plane, it's the drop shadow from that segment overlaps. And I think that should do it for the legs. Because for the most part, yeah. Cool. Cool. All right, so we have. Oh! I completely forgot. I need to blot out this section. So the main idea is I want this to be reproducible through basic shapes. Another design I thought about for the shoulders would probably be something like just a standard circle, big rivet in the middle. Then have how can I do that? But I think I like this better. What I can do is to get the best of both worlds is do that, and actually let's carve out this little bit right here. Let's carve out that bit, and then something. And we will surround it like so. There we go. All right, now let's solidify the arms. So we're going to start with the parts that I'm kind of happy with so far. We're going to start with this side. And you know what? Let's actually add some three-dimensionality to this shape right here. That and that. Again, rivet like so. So that bolt, the implication is that bolt goes straight through about instead of making that separate, I make this into one big shape here. And while we're making that into one big shape, like so, then all right, this is agreeing with me. This is agreeing with me. I like this. I like this a lot. Use some of that to act as sort of like panel bolting right there, and then we'll do this kind of out curving. Lock that in, and then yeah, kind of like that. All right, I'm feeling good about this. I'm feeling really good about this. Heck yeah. All right. Right. Okay, so we are almost done, at least with the inks here. Yeah. We'll define. Fact. There's probably something else I can do for this upper arm. Now that I'm looking at it, I can probably fix this. Do is I'll actually change how the panel works here. Lots of headbats. So that out like so. Then I can add this little bit here. And let's have this be implied kind of option. Yeah, and then let's do the same thing over on this side. There we go. Okay, those arms are looking a little bit more doable. Just a plain change there. Cool. That's the upper arm satisfied with, and to reward myself by a food. Okay. And we're going to get this cylindrical arm done here. And I might actually do something to give it a little visual interest. So, I do want it to come down to about here. Then, make sure first. Oop, 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 oop. Let's swap over some music. Let's do... Yeah, there we go. Gonna play it safe. Gonna stick to Panda Beats. So difficult to tell what will trigger DMCAs and what won't these days, so I'm gonna stick with what I know won't. Okay. So then... Actually, I'm not feeling this. Let's see. This feels too... I don't know how to describe it. Let's change that. Let's do... Yeah, something nice, something chill. Get those vibes. There we go. That's more like it. There we are. Some more ribbons. Yay. You know what? I don't think I like this armor panel. I think this is taking away from the silhouette. So here is what we're going to do instead. Let's also get rid of this backing. Okay, getting rid of that. What we can do instead is... something like that. Let's keep it simple. Again, it's real easy to overdo details on mechs. Gotta give the eyes places to rest. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Let me just carve out this little bit right here. And this should be easier to reproduce. That's another thing when it comes to character, right? You can make like really sick and awesome looking designs, but if you can't draw them consistently, you might as well have just bothered. Good character designs can be reproduced easily, because you're able to sort of distill all the visual noise down into something that's a bit more cohesive. There we go. Yeah, good old pipe limb segment. I do still want this back plate to be... Because one thing I always like doing with mech designs is showing how some structural weaknesses are protected against oncoming fire. In this case... we'll do something like this. Again, the whole idea of this is this does two things. This keeps the arm from bending where it shouldn't, and it also protects the back of the joint. Alright, and now with the hand plate, I'm going to split it down this way. Then we're going to add or even better, how about instead of that just being a square, how about we have this top portion be the square? And then this bottom portion wait. Better idea. Much better idea. let's see. Could sneak your logo on it after you finish the body design. Maybe the channel tiers could be its variants as it gets upgraded. Oh, that's a good idea. I'm using that. That's a good idea. Go. I already draw fingers to begin with. The way this is broken down kind of works for my method of drawing hands. So you already see these hands as like broken segments. I just have to add like an extra segment. Actually, the extra segment closer towards the tip because the end of the digits tend to be fairly small. And let's see how am I going to suggest back. Do something like that. Whole idea is this is extra room for some instruments and such. Yeah, so Spinal Form could use your personal colors as well. Yes! Yes! Okay, so let's cover that up. So that is a good looking bot. Now, oh, oh, that's my cue to take my meds. All right. All right, folks. Remember, take your medication. Where is... Oh, there it is. Bill's here. And oh, would you look at that? What a perfect opportunity to chase it down with some food. All right, now let's put this design to the test. And how we're going to do that, you might be wondering? Easy. We're going to draw it again. But not in this pose. We're going to see if we can draw it again in a slightly different pose. So we're going to here we go. Or do I just heard? What the fuck? Okay, so right, it would probably be a smart idea if I blocked in basic shapes. Don't have the weapon designed yet, but do it this way, we might be able to get a good weapon design in. Yeah, so we'll do something like that. We mark the top plane here. Because again, like I said, if a design can't be reproduced, you may need to have another look at the design. I draw this from a slightly different angle. It kind of forces my brain to think of how this design would work. Now, sometimes designs don't work in all angles. And you know what? That's alright. Sometimes a design doesn't need to work in all angles. Sometimes it just needs to work in enough angles to get your storytelling across. But for this particular design, I need it to work on all angles. Yeah, save a line art version so you can make colored variants on the fly. That's a good idea. It's always good to keep variants. It's always good to save your line art. Go. Show this is more of a glass or something. Tell you what, just go ahead. Oh, why am I struggling to fill this in? There we go. There we are. Go. Get that nice cylindrical dip right there. Again, we need to be mindful of plane changes. So, this kind of plane change here, then this will kind of come out just a little. Feels like sometimes when you're drawing, you're kind of like carving out the shapes from the paper. Let's see. When you have the funds, Gunpla UK is a good source to get kits from. Oh yeah, no, I tend to order mine from them when they're in stock. That's another thing. And you know what? I don't like how this bottom that's not quite how I would want it. So let's get the front of this cylindrical prop down. And goodness, geometric shapes. Oh, it breaks my brain when I try to draw them. Another reason why I'm forcing myself to draw mechs, so I can force myself to draw in perspective. Do you use Bennett Starwind's promo? There's a promo code? Because I haven't used that promo code. If there's a promo code, that would be very useful, actually. It's a little... probably trying too hard to, like, draw every aspect of it when I gotta remember, sometimes you can't always draw everything when it's in perspective. Sometimes you just gotta be okay with things being occluded. Like so. That's looking more on model. And there we go. Oh, I designed a sick as fuck mech last stream. I swear I can draw robots. Let's see. If not, then I can deem it. There's also a winter code. Ooh, yeah, no, send that my way. Send that my way. Alright. You know what? Bad foundation. Bad foundation. Working with a bad foundation. Gonna restart with good foundations. You know what? Yeah, thanks for that, Techno. Heck yeah. You know what? Change of plans. I'm going to do some quick streamlining of the design. Got a bit too overzealous with the details. So let's break this down into very simple shapes again. It's raining dinosaurs. Okay, so Let's see. So using this inked design as a reference, we're going to do some quick redesigning. Or rather, we're going to find out where all of our landmarks are. We did the exploration phase, now for the refinement phase. It's funny, instead of taking a cut, she gets hits from sponsored streams. Like how she's going to be building PGU New Gundam when it releases. That's honestly a good trade-off, because she already has a following, right? So it's... And those kits, that's just one less thing. She's gotta write off taxes. Alright, so... I'm gonna change something. I'm gonna go back to the big blocky hips real quick. I'm gonna take some more design cues from Mega Man Legends. Big, simple shapes. Easy to reproduce. And probably go. Do the ball joint here. And, oh, actually. There we go. So, we're going to do something a little bit different with this iteration. We're going to simplify the shapes even further. Go. Just like the tier upgrades. Exactly. So every iteration of this will still see the light of day. It's just getting it all refined. Sam Fisher Triclops going on there. Okay. So, let's see. So to save time, you could try and edit tools to copy and paste sections that you can then adjust. Yep, though I found with like doing copy and paste tools and such, you kind of have to have like a good idea of how you're going to do it ahead of time, if that makes sense. Whereas here, since we're doing mostly exploration and getting the whole design process nailed down, can't quite do copy and paste. Definitely when this is a little bit more solidified, best way to describe it. Okay. Good flow going here. Still want there to be like that little back bit protected. I'll have to figure out how this flows better into the arm. I'll do some design iterations off stream, just so, because like it is a very time consuming process. Like incredibly time consuming. So clear that out. So and do the good old fashioned pipe leg right there. Then once again, going to go in like so. And of course, because we're keeping these shapes simple, we can block in where the knee protection plate is going to be. Then we will actually bring this down and imply that this has been tacked on. Oh, would you look at that? That is a bot. Let's get rid of that bot. And there we go. Ain't gonna buy no views. again. Kind of do like how I do like what we got with the other leg. So but we're going to slightly change this foot is designed. This one we're going to do. We're gonna have it be a little bit more on the pointed side, but we're going to have it sort of end right there, and then other ones just come in like so. Let's try. Actually, no. Let's go a little bit more simple with this one. Just that. This one's going to be just both more simple with how it's attached, but a little bit more. Oh, I guess detailed is not the right word. This one's going to be the inverse of what I was doing before. So then we have the back right there, and then the front is going to come out like so. And the back is going to go like so. In fact, let's and there we go. There we go. Hey. Though that's coming out a little bit too far, so let's fix that just a hair. Oh, that really does not want to. Okay. So the lasso tool breaks with the symmetrical tool. Got it. There we go. Yeah, like that. Oh, Gesundheit. There we go. There we go. All right. This one's looking a little bit easier to reproduce here. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to move this design way over here. I'm actually going to shrink it. Just okay. So we have two iterations of the same design. So this one's looking a little bit sleeker. Let's see if we can do the... So I like the shoulders so far. True, I suggest making 2 more versions then so you can experiment with what you like about each design. Yes. Okay, so I do like the rhythm of this one here. So this one has kind of a... So the rhythm of the eyes, this one has sort of like a... This one has like bulk, ease, bulk, ease. And even down here with the torso, it's bulk, ease, or more accurately, bulk, ease, bulk, and then it kind of eases. So let's see if we can keep that energy going with this next one. So now this time we're going to focus on the bulk. There we go. And again, we're going to keep the simple shapes. There we go. So this time I'm going to do a little cutout right here so I can have the arm kind of slot in right there. And again, we're going to do the usual, we're going to do our little cylindrical cutout here where the head is going to rest. There we go. Just going to quickly put the head in. Character design is not a super terribly exciting process. It's a lot of drawing and redrawing. One of the best things you can do for a character design is just draw it over and over and over again until you find all of the nice sections that you can kind of focus on as your landmarks. So this one, I'm going to try to bring back some of these shoulders right here. But I'm going to kind of keep it... I'm going to keep it adhering to this design a bit. So it's going to act more like a shell that goes right on top. Kind of like that. Okay, and then from here, we're going to, again, block out that front panel, because that's the one thing I really do enjoy with each of these designs, and that's this front panel where it's suggested that the pilot, in this case me, is going to be. I like to imagine it's like some thick ballistics glass or something, just something to kind of act as a fail-safe. There we go. Then I'm gonna add our segments here. All right, and then like so. And again, we're going to keep the headlights. But now we have a nice line where it can kind of sit consistently. Iterations, iterations, iterations. Now, I will add one thing here, just to sort of mirror my plug suit design. I'm going to have these cables kind of come back and go into a larger shape towards the back. And then we're going to combine both of these hips together. Yeah, so kind of like that. Okay. So, we're going to bring back the same shape that we used over on this other leg here, but we're gonna slightly refine it a bit. So, all right. There we go. And we're just going to combine some concepts here. So again, we're going to be doing the pipe leg, which will lead into a knee guard. I think this one, I'll have this blocky shape go down the entire front of the leg. And then I will have it sort of bulge out on this side and come down to about there-ish. And in fact, let's bring that up just a bit. There we go. And then we'll kind of suggest at a ball joint here. And then we will connect the foot to that ball joint. Oh! Oh! Hey, thanks for cheering the bit. Let's see, I've been busy with Woolhaven, almost got the story finished, I think. Why isn't the text-to-speech working? TTS should be working. Bit strange that it isn't. I will need to fix that in between streams. Hold on. Watching Queens, I think Tall Geese might be my favorite. There's some really strong mech designs in Gundam Wing. Like, there's a reason why it's a lot of people's favorite. So I just got news that I will probably be able to stream a little bit longer than I was originally planning today. Mixed news. Yeah, my housemate really needs to rest and recover. Okay. What I'm planning on doing is maybe doing something like this. All right. Let's see. How am I gonna do this? How do I want it? You know what? No. The legs are a little too... They're a little too sleek. Too modern. Let's bulk it out. Like so. And you know what? What if... Ooh, this might be a little bit of a weird one. What if I just do like that? There we are. I'm not really feeling that. That's a bit too much like Dexter's Lab, which I every now and then I forget that like in Dexter's laboratory, Dexter has a mech. And hold on. And it's actually a pretty solid mech design, all things considered. So I'm just gonna post that. This thing right here, like that is a solid mech design. Does mean that with that in my head, it is very difficult to not be influenced by it. Yeah, the Dexter mech. And now my back hurts. Oh no! Yeah, such a blast from the past. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Dexter's Lab has been off the air for like a good while, and there was some clear love from the genre there. Let's... Cause why not? And we'll kind of work with what we're going for here. So basic. Easy to replicate shapes. Let's add a side vent. I think about this a lot, honestly, because this is, all things considered, this is a really strong design for a mech leg. Even as simplified as it is. And then So again, we're going to do the pipe arms. And then we're going to add a... We're going to add a little armor panel here. And actually, no. The armor paneling kind of breaks the silhouette a little. And we'll... Actually, hang on. Instead of doing all of that, let's just... Something like this. Nice round shapes. And again, doing that sort of top-heavy design for the mech. Yeah, something like that. See, another good mech-like idea is High Moon Studio Starscream. Oh, yes! Also, I'm gonna get some more scoops of food in my mouth here. Oh, let's have a look at... Let's see... Yeah, because that's one way to do it. Spin! Okay. So, I think we're getting closer. I'm gonna go ahead and... So this is third iteration right here. Let's shrink this down and we'll add this to the lineup. All right. So let's do one more. And then we're going to combine aspects that we like from each of these. Just gonna quickly block in the shapes. Cut out that bit right there. Touch the arm. Cylindrical cutout where the head is going to rest. Here we again. Triclops set up, and then yeah, trying to keep with like big and practical. All right. So again, going to show the little central bolt right there. And let's there we are. Okay. So another shoulder iteration. Again, we're going to do the pipe arm. Again. I'm going to try something a little asymmetrical here. There we go. Again, protecting the back of that arm. And okay. I wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. I may have had an idea for an inspiration, but actually, hang on. I should probably turn on the refs real quick because it's been a while since I've looked at these. Okay. New idea. Okay, so we're going to do a little something here. Actually, no. I'm making them too proportional. I'm getting sidetracked from the proportions I want. Hold on. No. We're gonna have to do this again from the top here. I'm getting too distracted. I'm losing sight of what I wanted out of this design. That was was going to be a big, bulky design that's a little bit on the squat side. All right. Right. Okay, so it's gonna quickly block in the head. All right. Yeah, so something like that. Then going to block in the little cylindrical thing that protects like the little neck region of the mech. All right. So, what I wanted was just big, bulky, a little goofy looking, but most importantly, something iconic. So again, just gonna block in some details. Let's figure out where. Okay, so there's this plane change right here. That's that top plane. Then that curves out. And then that's going to curve back in. And what I'm going to do is play around with this kind of shape. So then when we have the torso, add a little flexibility. There we go. And then again, we're going to combine the two most predominant designs here. There we go. So the idea is this is sort of like a kind of curve, like so. So it's kind of like cylindrical, and it has like a bolt on either side. Let's see. To be honest, they kind of remind me of the egg pawns from modern Sonic games. Just a bit more skinny with more greebles. Not sure what they're for, but they look great. Yeah, I'm trying to keep my designs simple because greebles look awesome, but they're also kind of annoying to reproduce. So I'm trying to keep the greebles to like very specific points. So what I will do is actually, egg pawns. What are they? Oh my god. Yeah, they kind of do have that same silhouette, don't they? Huh. And orange eggs with arms and legs. Yeah, fair enough. It is a solid robot design, not gonna lie. Let's see. How am I going to... I'll probably do is I will top part of the leg. So make the legs a little bit on the skinnier side. But yeah, great like army builder baddie for a silly game. Yeah. Let's see if we can this. What I'll do is I'll probably make the legs a little bit more on the simple side. Actually, we'll do the big leg again. Do the big round leg. Screw it, I'm gonna use the Dexter legs. They look good. And what I'll do is I will probably add a big greebly bit right here. Kind of break up the simplicity of the design. Still keep like the base shape, but then this also gives me some things I can work with depth-wise whenever I'm drawing this in different angles. So yeah, that would be... So... add one more little thing. Oh. Yeah, something like that. Little panel near the front. There we go. And do something like that. Again, just sort of break up the silhouette just a little. Just a little. Panel lining there. There we are. So, whomst are we drawing today? I am drawing my mech. I'm trying to keep the design very simple because I also want this mech to work in a low poly aesthetic. Because I'm currently doing a big redesign of my VTuber model, using a kind of PSX design. Now this is going to be my channel mech. Yeah, for model. Like, I can't be a mech pilot VTuber without a proper mech now, can I? Okay, and then... So, we will have redeems to have to mount or eject from said mech, correct? Actually, I'm gonna have to think how to set that up. Because I'm trying to think, like... Like, how would I set up a channel redeem? Like how would I format that? Especially for mounting up. I could do 2 environments. I could do an environment where it's inside the mech, and then, you know, just for like the just chatting screen. And then for, yeah, one inside the mech, and then outside the mech. And then the redeem is just to like have an emergency eject. So it will just eject me and you'll just see like the mech hanger. That's gonna be a lot of work, but it will be funny. Go. It's gonna kind of like do instead of like drawing the hand each time, I'm gonna do like a little block, a little block out. There we go. Oh, I might Steam here soon. All right, that's another iteration. So again, we'll take this, shrink it down, and we will do it with all of the others. Let's... Where are the others? Did I accidentally delete them? I may have accidentally deleted them. Well, Great! Love it when I do that. Fantastic. It's not the first time I've done that either, and it will certainly not be the last. I accidentally deleted the other iterations of the mech that we made because I forgot I was drawing on the exact same layer, and I hit the clear button before I started the redesign. Fuck. Feels bad, man. The problem is, after I completely finished that redesign, there's not enough undos. Not enough undos. All right. No, there is an undo. There's not enough of them. Basically, most art programs, they only save your undos until like a certain point. It's like save on memory or something. Yeah, let's have a look at this meme. Let's have a look at this meme. Hold on, let's hide the Dexter mech real quick. Wrong layer. Yep. Yep. Oh. Oh, that's rough. That is. Oh, I'm still feeling that one. I'm still feeling that one. Ah. Okay. I have a feeling this iteration might be the one because I'm already feeling good about the shape language. I will design the weapon another day. Right now, I'm more concerned with just the mech by itself. A weapon to surpass Metal Gear. Metal Gear. Now you have to understand, when it comes to art, the fundamentals, it's just a box. The torso, it's just a box. The hips, they're just a box too. 2D art and 3D art is just turning a box into a thing. When it comes to 3D, what's the first thing you do? You get a box. Then you extrude. And then you do loop cuts. Oh, there's this one shit post for Metal Gear, where so you know, you guys know the opening to Metal Gear Solid 3. After World War II, the Earth was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the Cold War. Someone did a shit post where it was like, after the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and two. This marked the beginning of World War II. Here we go. Alright, I'm feeling good about this one. Feeling good about this one, chat. Feeling good about this one. Oh, you know what we need to do at some point? I should design a chat character. Just sort of like act as the stand-in for all you wonderful Lancers. Go. Oh, I'm feeling real good about this design. This is the one. I can feel it in my bones. This is the one. Actually, you know what? I don't need to put that there. This is already working out how I kind of wanted it to. Don't need to do that. Okay. Here we go. A little bit of shading there. Or, you know what? Actually, now that I'm looking at the shoulders weren't as big as I wanted them to be. Because again, I want these to be like big, obvious shapes. So more like this. There we go. Okay, no. There we are. Feeling this one. Really feeling this one. And with it being kind of a it's like a long sphere. Then this pop out. So top portion actually be yes. 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 Let's see. Scope Dog is one of my fave mech heads. Or is your head more of a flat box? I'm on my phone screen. It's small. Hold on. I'll zoom in. Just you can see the head. It is a little bit on the flat side. Let's have a look at the refs. The head that I have in my refs is not that flat. So I will probably need to elongate. I must extend head. Expand head. There we go. There we go. Actually, I may have extended that too. Just a little bit, and then we will have this. Yes! Okay. Enhance. Enhance! Enhance! Okay, let's add one more detail here. I do like how it ends up I like how it looks on the plug suit. I think it would transfer very well on the mech itself. It'll add some cohesion to the design. There we go. Alright, before I continue with that, let's... What if we did something like... Something like this? That out. Okay. I feel like we're getting close to nailing down this finalized design. Yeah, like that. And actually, instead of doing that massive curve there, I'm making the legs a little bit too long. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of the arms. So let's figure out how far. I want this to be kind of like a top-heavy mech. Something like that. Do shoal feet. I might do something like this. I'm gonna combine the two designs. Doesn't quite work. Doesn't quite work. Probably help if I... So let's find out the middle point here. And then we'll use that to make the spacer for... I think just cracked it. There we go. This is what I was after. Then we will do one of these notch greebles right there. And shade in right between, so we get like this sort of claw foot design. We're gonna stick with that. Yes. Okay, and then I'm gonna use that to sort of carve out a bit of the shape. It's not kind of working how I want it to. Let's find the center line. Wait. I think I might have it. What the? Why do these things keep on popping up? Let's... Yeah, no. Let's... And... gone. Wait, no, it's still there. Right? How do I get rid of that? Oh, it's not posted to the chat. All right, got it. Cool. I just had a few spam bots. All right, so have an idea of what I'm going to do. So I'm just gonna actually let's I'm gonna carve that. And I use the leg concept from the first iteration. There we go. There we go. All right. This is probably going to be a bit more finalized when I decide to make the 3D model. Like, it's all well and good to do it in 2D, but like when you're doing design like this, you start making it in 3D, you kind of have to start making changes to get it to work. There we go. All right. Okay, I think once I'm done with this iteration, probably gonna leave it here for today. Because I'm quickly running out of steam. So we will find someone to raid shortly after this. And we'll raid another art stream. Keep the art train going, you know? I will probably be hanging out in the community Discord if you guys want to hang out. But otherwise, I think... Oh, I was feeling confident about this one, and then got to the limbs, and it's the torso and the head is the most easy part for the mech, and then the moment you get to somewhere else, it's like, ugh. Let's try this one. Oops, I need to see if there's any more food. All right. Honestly, out of all of these designs, the first one still ended up being the strongest. So we'll see how it translates into 3D. All right. I'm just gonna drop this quick. And dropped again. Just realized this is skewed. There we go. Yeah, out of all of them, I still think the first one's the best. I'm still so gutted. We had so many good variations, and I accidentally deleted them. So, let's go ahead and see who's streaming at the moment. Yeah, who is... Let's see. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Let's have a look at the art tab. I need to play around with color palettes, but let's see. Art category. Who's got some cool art? Let's have a looky loo. Trying to find someone good here. Someone that doesn't have like too many viewers, you know? Let's see. Oh! Someone is making animated emotes. Okay. Yeah, so we are going to... Yeah, so we're going to raid into Sailor Shinju, who is... Well, first, let's see if she's not. All right, cool. So she is currently doing some animated... Yeah, she's doing some animated emotes, which is cool. Like, honestly, I might start learning how to do animation. That's something I kind of want to learn how to do. It's like one of the... It's one of the few art things that I haven't delved too deep into, which is funny because I learned how to draw in the first place because I wanted to be an animator, but the ADHD demons didn't want me to pursue that. So I might try it again. Who knows? So we'll do slash raid. There we go. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and just head over to our little just chatting section here. There we go. Oh, God. There we go. So yeah, I'll be in the Discord if you guys want to hang out. But otherwise, keep your giant robot stompy, and until next week, I'll catch you around.